Hi YouTube! Welcome to day 8 of my birthday countdown vlog. It's 32 days until I turn 40, so I guess I'm talking about my when I was 32 back in 2004. And also, as you can see, today is Halloween, so I am dressed up. I was actually going to be a Jedi in my Jedi costume for Halloween this year, but for some reason I can't find it. I had it when I went to a sci-fi convention earlier this year, and haven't seen it since. Not sure what happened to it. I'll put a little photo of it up here so you can see what I would have dressed like. But my old standby is my German dirndl that was handmade for me by my aunt in Germany, and as you can tell, she's rather conservative, so no low-cut cleavage on this puppy, but she handmade this for me when I was about 15. I think it was my 15th birthday that she sent it. My grandmother sent her the measurements and she made it. And the only thing I didn't have was this blouse. And when I went back to Germany for a visit in 2001, my primary goal was to find a proper dirndlbluse, or dirndl blouse, a blouse that's designed to be worn under a dirndl. Normal blouses, modern blouses, just don't quite look right. As you can see here, there's some special gathering up on the shoulders and the little special collar that sticks up. And so I just wanted to make sure that I had exactly the right kind of blouse for this costume. So that was kind of fun. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That was 2001, wasn't it? Talking about 2004, it was a fairly average year that year. I wasn't dating anyone seriously. I didn't go on any major whirlwind trips or anything. The big thing that I did that year was buy my first car. So I had been renting a Saturn SL1. I had a lease on a brand new SL1, and it was about 9 months before the lease was up when Saturn called me and said, "Hey, we got a special deal going on. If you'd like to turn in your lease early and be forgiven the amount of money that you still owe on the lease, we can get you into buying and purchasing a brand new car." And I had wanted to purchase the car I was leasing anyway, and I decided to just take a look at the deal, because if I purchased the Saturn that I was leasing, I would have to go and purchase it through as a used car, and the financing options there are usually not as good as with a new car. And ultimately I decided to do the trade-in. Well, it wasn't really a trade-in. It was sort of a give back and then purchase a different car. And the reason for that, one is there was like $4,500 worth of payments left on the lease that I was forgiven. I didn't have to pay that. And on top of that, I was able to get $1,500 cash back, which I was able to use as a down payment on a new car, and get 0% financing. So I owed 0 interest. All I had to do was make the monthly payments. I ended up doing a 5-year, 60-month financing schedule, and then the car was mine. And that worked out really well. I ultimately, we ended up doing the 5-year instead of a 3-year, only because I wanted to get the monthly payments down as low as my lease payments had been. And so by stretching out the 5 years, I got it to be exactly, and it was off by like $5, almost exactly the same payment I was making with my lease. And that was great, because it was a lot easier to pay it and know that I wasn't paying more than the actual value of the car at the time of purchase, because I wasn't paying interest or anything else. So ultimately, at the end of the day, it ended up for me being a really good deal. And the only other thing that I did that year was then take that car that summer, and I did a road trip out to Chicago. I believe this was my second road trip out to Chicago, because I did one before for Christmas with the lease vehicle. And I just drove the whole way. Everyone thought I was crazy, you know, single girl by herself driving cross country. But I had a blast. I made it all in one shot. I didn't stay overnight anywhere. And thankfully it was a new car, so thankfully it didn't break down on me or anything like that. And I just drove here, I'm up in northern Colorado, and drove straight out to Chicago. I think it took me 15 hours to drive. I stopped 5 or 6 times along the way to get gas and get food and that kind of thing. And then I drove straight to my uncle's house because I was staying there. And from his house, I would take the train into the city and do all that because I didn't want to drive in the city. I have never, I've tried driving in Chicago once since moving out to Colorado. When I was living in Chicago, I never drove. I just took the buses and the trains and things. And so I tried driving there once and realized pretty quickly how absolutely insane driving in the city was. And so ever since then, whenever I go, if I drive, I leave my car at my uncle's house and I take the train into the city because it's just so much easier and I'm more used to navigating. I actually almost got lost a couple times because I know how to get from point A to point B in Chicago based on this, taking this train or taking this bus. But I didn't know how to get there by just driving the street. Which sounds crazy. But, well, especially if you take the train is either above the streets or underground, and it's going diagonal and going all sorts of different ways, and so you don't know which way it's going necessarily. You have a sense of which direction you're going, but other than that, you don't know which streets you're crossing all the time and that kind of thing. So that was interesting getting lost in the city that one time. But yeah, that's basically all I did in 2004 is buy that car and drive out to Chicago for a week vacation. So, hope everyone is having a safe and happy Halloween, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.